Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Thanks for watching Mr. T Garage. This is a 2013 Toyota Sequoia with lost communication with ECM, PCM. The cluster is not turning on, even if I turn the key off and back on. There's nothing happening. Cranking it, nothing. So let's see if we can fix it. This is where I'm at with the diagnosis. There is no power here on this fuse. Wait, not that fuse. This fuse. This ignition fuse 10 amp. There is no power. So to see if this is getting power, this gets fed through this relay, right? So power comes this way, and this feeds instrument cluster and engine controls. Instrument cluster is dead, and I cannot communicate with the engine controls. Navigation, computer data lines, transmission cruise control, supplemental restraints, engine controls, and inactive system. And it also powers transmission, instrument cluster, headlights, warning, engine controls, cruise control, interior lights, starting charging, exterior lights. Let's see if the interior lights work. So interior lights work. Let's see if exterior lights work. Exterior lights work. Interlock brakes, supplemental restraint, wiper washer system. Let's see if this works. Wiper washer system works. So I know that if this is being powered and sending power, turn this key off, sending power here, because the wiper washer works and the exterior and interior lights work, that must mean that this is being powered, but not this fuse. Ignition fuse 10 amp. And also what I did, I made this thing here. It's a fuse jumper, so I connected it here, put a fuse here, a jumper. Oh, what I'm gonna do is provide power to it. Let's see. So let's get power here, because this is how I was able to drive the car inside. So I'm gonna be jumping power to this, and it starts when I do that. So it powers the cluster on, and then it starts. So that's where I'm at. I need to see when to turn it off, because the ignition switch or the ignition fuse is still being powered on. I gotta disconnect it from here, from there, and it turns off. So that's where I'm at with the diag. There's no power here, but to this feeds this, unless this is wrong, but I don't know, because the OE diagram for that 10 amp fuse, this is that ignition fuse, and this is all I see. So I don't know what, it doesn't show exactly what powers that fuse. I gotta do more digging, but, and then I found this other one too, which I don't know. I guess this fuse, yeah, it's this relay, and it only powers this. But on the other one, it says that it powers something else. So I gotta find this relay and make sure I'm getting powers and grounds to this relay. Integration relay, which I think it's gonna be this relay. But I gotta test it and find out for sure. But that's where I'm at. So this is the pinout for that relay. 1B will be this one, B8, and this powers this ignition fuse. So it's a yellow wire, right, coming out of there, coming out of this relay. And I have the test light connected to the fuse leg, so if the circuit is good from here to here, it should light up. Oops. Let's connect it there. Supply voltage to it, and it lights up. So the circuit is good. This is what powers that ignition fuse. Let's take this off. So let's test this thing and see if it works, if it's getting everything that it needs, like the voltage here on this green one, and then grounding here, and I guess just those two. And then because this one's good, this ignition 2 main fuse is this one. That's good. Ignition 2 main fuse would be this here. This one. That one right there. And it's getting power. So it's most likely going to be this, but I still have to test and see if it's getting powers and voltages, powers and grounds. So this is B8 right there. This would be B8 there. And if we count the wires, there's 8 wires, and the last one is yellow one, so that's B8. This would be B1, B7, the ground. B7 ground would be the right next to the yellow. It is a white and black wire. This one. That should be a ground. Let's see if this lights up. And it does, so ground is good. Now I'm gonna check the the power side from to the relay, from the ignition switch, from ignition or starter switch assembly diagram 1 of 3, which would be ignition switch green. The key is on. I already checked it. I know that there's no voltage. Let's make sure if this works. It does turn on. Pin 6. There's no voltage. 876. Yeah. No voltage, so let's check the ignition switch. Ignition switch feed to here. From the ignition switch, there's a black wire that feeds that relay. It feeds this relay. So let's check and see if there's power here on. I'm gonna turn the key on. I am checking the pin on that black wire, and there is voltage coming out of the ignition switch. on that black wire, so the problem is not there. It comes out to here. Let's see. It comes out to here. Let's check this AH8 junction. See if we get power there. The junction connection we're looking for is AH8. This is AH8, which looks like it's on the left side. Let's go look at it. Let's go see if we can find it. That is what the face of the connector looks like. 13 will be green, so it's going to be on the bottom. 13 on the bottom, green. 17 pin. It's not too clear, or I couldn't find information on like the rest of the wires to make sure that that's the right connector, but it looks like a 17 pin connector. And there is a green one here on the bottom, so let's see if I supply power to here or if it's getting power. I'm connected to the green wire and it does work with the ignition on. So I started checking again to see if there was power because I cleaned the connector, and now we got power on the green connector. So it should start once I put this thing on. Should start if everything is good. Everything is connected back. I'm just gonna put this jumper fuse because it needs a fuse just for now. Let's see if it starts. And the cluster lit up and it started. Awesome. Okay, let's see if it'll start back up again. Oh, there's a delay. There's a little bit of a delay. So key on. There's a little bit of a delay. No, but it starts. Just the cluster's not lighting up immediately, but it'll start. Okay. So I was messing with this AH8 connector. Let's see if it started, and let's see if I'm messing with it. Here and in the back. Nope. Well, I guess I'm gonna make sure that those pins are fully seated and connected, and that was it. Everything else is good. I think that was a problem. Alright. Thanks for watching. Sequoia again. 2013. I let it sit for a while overnight, and then now it's acting the same way. So I'm gonna see if there's voltage coming out of the ignition switch and going to that relay, or if the voltage is going to the that connector, and see if it's getting to the relay. So let's check it again. Okay, so I have the key in the on position, and if we check for voltage on this green wire, there is no voltage. No voltage. It lights up. So I'm going to check voltage coming out of here. and see if there's voltage coming out of there. So I took this cover off, and this is the ignition switch, and I was messing with it. I was gonna connect that tool, and when I was trying to do that, let's see, I'm gonna grab it and then wiggle it. Now it doesn't want to do it. Okay, so I'm gonna keep checking. So I just move this back. Oh, there it goes. See, it turned off. Turn back on. Off and on. One weird thing is there's voltage here on the ignition switch, but there's none here. But if I move this back to have the cluster turn on, let's see if the voltage. Yep. So there's voltage there. So there's possibly something here that is being disconnected. So let's keep checking it, because there it'll start. Yep. But so right now we have voltage here on the ignition sense black wire and voltage here, but if I move this steering wheel back, then voltage goes away and voltage returns. So I'm going to take this off and see what is causing that break. I think I found the problem. I took this cover off and the cluster is on, and when I touch this wire, it turns off. Back on, off. So the problem is here somewhere. I'm going to take this tape off and see if I can find the break. And I found the break. It's right there. I just barely pulled on this wire and it broke from there. So I'm gonna fix it and that'll take care of it. Okay, and there it is, heat shrinked and ready to go. And I used black electrical tape to cover it and secure it, so I'm going to be putting this cover back on and it'll be ready to go. Okay, everything is back together. Now we got to put the that cover on and test it. Actually, we can test it now. Perfect. Let's test it one more time. One last time. Alright, I think we got it. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And also I noticed that now when I turn the key on, it turns on immediately. There is no delay. Key is out of the ignition. Key back in the ignition and starts immediately. I guess it was because the voltage wasn't getting, or that wire was a little bit cut. but it's there. Now there's no delay in starting. It's good to go. Thanks for watching.